Okay fam, today we're going to be making beans and smoked turkey legs. You want to go ahead and rinse your beans well, whatever your beans of choice. For me, I'm going to be using pinto beans, as I know I can never go wrong with those. I'm also going to add in some extra tri-colored beans that I had left over from a previous batch. I just couldn't fit them in my pot. So you want to go ahead and wash your beans really well. You want to look for any broken beans, any half beans, any messed up beans, any rocks, because you don't want to bite into that. Alright, as you can see, the water is getting cloudy. You want to continue to rinse your beans until the water is clear. And in the crock pot, you want to go ahead and add your meat. For me, I'm using smoked turkey leg pieces. I'm going to go ahead and add some sliced bell peppers. Now, I have seen people add water first, then the veggies, then the meat, or the meat, the water, the veggies. However, it really doesn't matter because it's all going to infuse and simmer together in the crock pot anyway. At this point, you can see that I'm adding my sliced onions. I'm also going to add some garlic, but I just wanted to say I am doing my smoked turkey legs for a few hours first, and then I'm going to add my beans. You are more than welcome to throw everything together. If you got to go to work, that's completely fine, but for me today, I got some time. So because I got time today, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get a head start on my smoked turkey legs. All right, here I'm adding some onion powder. And then off camera, I'll be adding in about half a teaspoon of Tony's Creole seasoning in the green can and some black pepper. I'm trying to get rid of all of my garlic, y'all, because I'm not wasting nothing. All right, after about 3 hours, this is what it's looking like. I'm going to go ahead and add my beans as well as the other bell peppers and onions. Like I said, I'm adding bell peppers and onions because I feel like it extends the flavor of the bell peppers and onions, you know, towards the end. If I put out my bell peppers and onions at the beginning, I just kind of feel like they're losing all of its potency or whatever. And so when I add them at the middle, I feel like it'll just kind of extend the flavor. And so I'll still have the bell pepper and onion taste closer to the end. All right, when you add your beans, you just want to give it a good stir. Just make sure you're not, you know, piling them up on top of the turkey legs. And as you can see, I am using my infamous tablespoon, honey. I grab whatever I see first. That's how it worked for me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the top on and let these cook for about 4 hours. 4 hours later, my baby girl came into the kitchen to help me put this teaspoon of salt into the crock pot. I was watching a series and I couldn't stop. It was a really good part, and so I asked her to do this for me. So shout out to JoJo. Thank you, baby girl. She's stirring in that salt, and then she's gonna put the top back on, and we're gonna probably cook this for an additional hour and a half. All right, after an hour and a half, I'm coming in hot. This is what we have. You can see the beans are tender, the peppers and onions, and I tried to move the turkey and boom, just like that. You can stop right here. Feel free to stop right here. As for me in my house, I'm gonna continue to cook. Okay, I love my meat tender, tender, tender. So this is already tender, but I like it just extra tender. So I also found out I was cooking this on high the entire time. I told my son to turn it on low, and that's all teenagers. He didn't hear me. So I've been cooking this on high, but it doesn't matter. It's still good. It was still great. So as you can see, it's all coming together. And please don't say anything to me about this. Yes, I decided to add me some greens, well, some spinach. I just say greens because they're greens technically, but spinach. I know some people like to put collard greens in their crock pot. Some people use turnips, kale, but for me, I'm going to be using spinach because I like spinach, and that's what I got, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add that to a bowl. Try to remove all the leaves off of the stem. I'm going to put some baking soda into the bowl to make sure I wash my spinach really well. I'm going to add some water. Fill up the bowl. You want to make sure when you're cleaning your produce that you add, well, for me, just a little bit of vinegar. The vinegar helps get the pesticides off with your produce. And a lot of people don't know, but that shiny look you see to your fruit, your apples and stuff, it's because they place wax, a certain wax on your fruit. So the vinegar just helps remove the wax and any buildup or whatever, any pesticides on your produce. So I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar here, and then I decided to add just a little bit more because my bowl was pretty big. Like I said, I'm going to let this soak for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to give it a good wash. All right, and I don't know if you guys can start to see it, but there's a lot of grit at the bottom of the bowl. All right, I'm gonna go in and take my top off and go ahead and add my spinach to my crock pot. I will be adding my spinach handfuls in at a time, just about 2 handfuls total. When you add your spinach, just a side note, you want to submerge your leaves into your liquor. Yes, I said liquor, because I'm from the South and that's what we say when we got a good roux, a good juice, liquor. So you're going to add your spinach down into your liquor because you want to make sure you do not leave it at the top of your crock pot. I've done that before, and let's just say I had a whole burning spinach smell in my house because the spinach touched the brim and stayed on the brim of the crock pot and it burned. So just make sure you push your greens, whatever you're using, down. And if you decide to use greens or something else, make sure you check the time as it varies. All right, you can see me adding the last little bit of spinach because I can hear my mom and my grandmama now saying, don't throw that away. All right, you're going to put your top back on and let it cook for another hour and a half. Cool it and put it in the fridge. Y'all, this is the next day. Here you have smoked turkey legs, pinto beans, and spinach. You can see the beans, the spinach, the turkey is tender. If you're going to do it, please try to do it right. All right. And if this is your first time, I suggest you try tasting your food as you do the cooking process, just to make sure you have the flavor that you want. It's not too salty. It's not missing salt. That'll help out a lot. I went ahead and made my husband's dinner for work tonight. Y'all, check out this little crock pot. It's a mini crock pot I snatched from Target a while back for him. It is one of the most convenient things I have ever got. He doesn't have to wait in line and use a microwave. Plus, this is better. He uses it on his first break, and by lunch, it's ready. All right, y'all, enjoy, and please save some for somebody else if you can.